Good morning, audience. I am Rista Sufidiana. Welcome to You Talk Show. Mudik or homecoming became a tradition for Indonesian citizens before Eid. It has been a year COVID is widespread. Mudik is one of the factors of increasing the number of coronavirus. The situation forces the government to prohibit mudik since May 6, 2021. However, it is really difficult to get people to comply with this regulation.
The prohibition of mudik has been applied since Thursday, May 6, 2020. Many blockades have been carried out by police officers in every route in Indonesia. Unfortunately, there are still many travelers who escape from the blockage, as seen in Waru Kleret route Cirebon, where many travelers pass from Jakarta to Central and East Java. Whereas, to be able to get through this route, they have to pass the blockage in Waru Street. They said that they can escape from the blockage because passing through the shortcuts.
Udah ada. Di mana itu, Pak?
Cikarang.
Oh, Cikarang. Terus gimana bisa lolos kayak gini, Pak?
Lewat jalan tikus.
Oh, lewat jalan tikus. Ini mau tujuan mudik kemana?
Sragen.
Sragen. Ini khawatir nggak, Pak? Ada penyekatan lagi, Pak?
Cari jalan lain.
Cari jalan lain. Ya.
Until Thursday afternoon, the traffic on the Cirebon route was still observed busy. I'm Mawadah, reporting from Cirebon, West Java.
The implementation of regulation banning going home in 2021 makes pros and contra. Here we are with Mr. Irfan. Hi, Mr. Irfan. Miss Warda. Miss Dita Aulia. Mr. Jihad. Mrs. Nadratin Mawadah. Okay, I hope all of you are fine. So here, I want to ask some of the participants about the government regulation. For the first, I want to ask Mr. Irfan. Mr. Irfan, what do you think about the government's regulation?
Okay, for the government regulation to ban the mudik this year was triggered by several reasons. The first one is the spread of the COVID-19 virus is not completely finished. So the second one is there is concern that it will become a new cluster. The third is vaccination process is not completely complete. So I think the government decision to prohibit its citizen from mudik is a good step, because according to data from National COVID Task Force, even though the number of people who have contracted COVID has greatly decreased compared to the before previous one. However, some areas are still vulnerable to spread of the COVID-19 virus. This is what for the government is afraid. If you are mudik, it's afraid that you will be a virus carrier. So you will be spread the COVID virus in the new area, so that will be further expand the area of the spread COVID-19.
Okay, but the reality is many people believe that after receiving a vaccine, they will have a high level of immunity. So they think that they are going to go to everywhere. When the vaccine process is complete, are you sure that the government will allow mudik?
Okay, it's not totally true that if someone has received the vaccine, he will be immune to the virus. So the truth is, if you have got the vaccine, then you will not be immune, but it just won't be as dangerous as the unvaccinated one. So therefore, it's not it is worrying on the trip or while in your hometown that you will be infected or carry the virus on the way to your hometown. So you will be an intermediary for the spread. Maybe you will be fine, but how about the other people around you? For that, it would be nice if we are more vigilant and obedient to the regulation that have been set by our government. It's all for our good and also for everything can return to normal as before.
Okay, that's right. I think the government must have a lot of consideration, and we know that the number of the situation is very unpredictable. As we can see previously, there was a news that India was hit by a new variant of COVID. I will go to Miss Dita Aulia. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I think that is very disparate. In this case, the task force has to handle the COVID-19, while the citizens should be more disciplined in comply with the health protocols. The reason is that some new variants of COVID-19 mutation have appeared that are considered dangerous that have been entered in Indonesia. It happened because the culture of Indian is almost the same as Indonesia. They often hold events that involve many people, such as gathering. Thus, it made the explosion of new variant of COVID-19, which made India flocking to Indonesia. I hope in the future the government will take action firmly, not to not to let more foreigners to come to Indonesia.
Instead of taking affirmative action, the government released a fourth regulation to handle COVID-19, number 13 of 2021, regarding the elimination of mudik before 8 May 6 to 17. The prohibition of returning home through land, sea, and air transportation. Let us think that people who just live in this country are banned from mudik. What about other countries who came here? If we break this law, we will undoubtedly face legal consequences. And next, I want to ask to Ms. Warda. After we know about this regulation, do you think it is effective?
Well, I think mudik prohibition is less effective since this regulation is not followed by a good management, especially in terms of law enforcement. We can see many law enforcement officers who are in charge in the field are not professional. This happens to several cities outside Jabodetabek, particularly in some insurgencies of Java. It can be seen from the working hour, which is supposed to be 24/7. Unfortunately, it doesn't work. They only guard from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. or even less than it, which surely can optimize the prevention of mudik. And the securities indiscipline leads our society to keep their traveling. They choose the time in which the officers are in their break time or even no one on standby. And also another factor that can trigger our society to mobilize easily is that there are some shortcuts where no law enforcement officers get there. As we know that the officers are in charge on the main road only. And the result is we can guess the society find another way to keep mudik even though it sometimes forces them to pass the rocky road. Yes, this all make the regulation is not quite effective. That's what I think.
Ms. Warda, you're right. That is also something in people thought. They believe that law enforcement officers are unstaffed, so it's less effective at guarding certain posts, especially on narrow roads or rocky roads. Mr. Saiful Jihad, do you have anything else to say?
Beside problem of banned traffic in city and village to stop pemudik, just like Mrs. Warda said before, we have to concern on what we do in our village. For example, like visit to our neighbor or visit to our family that consists of so much people in one place, like gathering. This because of majority of people are still strongly believe with their principle to protect their culture and legacy from their ancestor to still mudik and silaturahmi to family to feel Idul Fitri vibes. But the protocol in village as not as strict as in the city. Even there are a few places, for example, in Madura, which the citizen is don't even care anymore with social distancing or using a mask. I believe that the task force of COVID in another place are difficult to appeal if the citizen is really hard to control and have a bad mindset like this, I think.
It's true, Mr. Saiful Jihad. In the village, that they use very minimal health protocols. Maybe they think that COVID is over or their immunity is so strong that they think that they can't get the virus. This one is one of the reasons that the government took this regulation. After hearing your opinion, it seems that the ban of returning home is ineffective in Indonesia. I'd like to go to Mrs. Nadrotin. Do you think this regulation is effective?
Effective or not, I think no. But I realize that the Indonesian government has no choice. My suggestion for them is to optimize the blockage of Mudik by adding the guarding spot and optimize for 24/7. The way the officers communicate with the people should be more friendly, polite, and understandable. Their good behavior will probably touch people's hearts to be more aware of the situation. We have to understand that the most people are already know the risk of this virus, but they feel a dilemma between mudik with the risk of transmitting the virus and their homesick feeling for parents or family. Therefore, applying this regulation is really hard. The task force COVID the task force COVID can involve community leaders, regulation leaders, religious leaders to practice in reminding people and becoming role model in complying with health protocol. I think it is the unique character of Indonesian people that they would listen to their leader rather than the government regulation. So I think it's the best solution.
That's right, Mrs. Nadrotin. That's a great solution. Well, ladies and gentlemen, after we know all of our participants' opinion, we can conclude that a rule always has pros and cons. Therefore, as a smart society in responding this, let's take its positives and always do health protocol by wearing a mask, washing our hands, and keep the physical distancing. Thank you very much for all of the participants today. I am Rizda Sufidiana. See you in the next You Talk Show.